But first, our top story this half an hour. A closed-door hearing is taking place today. Fired FBI Director Jim Comey will testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee today in a closed-door meeting about the decisions he made during the 2016 election. The hearing will be private, but a transcript is expected to be released tomorrow. On Sunday Morning Futures, I spoke with House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte about the hearing. What are you going to find out from Jim Comey? What are the most important questions you need to ask him?
Well, I'm going to save those for Mr. Comey, but you can imagine that you have a 400-page Inspector General's report. You have the testimony of 16 other witnesses, all of which were taken in private transcribed interviews. You have the thousands of pages of documents. Those have generated literally hundreds of questions that need to be asked. We want to follow the truth where it leads, and then we want to make these transcripts available to the public so that they can draw their own conclusions about what occurred in 2016.
Joining me right now is Arizona Congressman and House Judiciary Committee member Andy Biggs. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning.
Good news.
Thanks so much for joining us. Now, look, we've covered this now for the last year and a half pretty closely, and I know that there were FISA abuses. I know that there were leaks. All of these things are felonies. Give us in a nutshell so our viewers understand, what did Jim Comey do wrong in your view?
Well, Jim Comey looks like he put his thumb on the scale of the Hillary Clinton investigation. So that'd be the first thing that he did, and we could get into that in detail. But then he moved on. He was one of the ones who leaked information going forward to manipulate the appointment of Bob Mueller as the special counsel. So he basically initiated this investigation that's gone on for a year and a half, 2 years, on President Trump that has nothing to do necessarily with the election.
Yeah, bottom line here, he didn't want Donald Trump to win.
Right.
And his colleagues, whether it's Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, coming up with plans to stop him. And all of that is out in black and white.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Inspector General was very clear on this, and Mr. Comey has been on a book tour. He said things that are kind of inconsistent with what he testified to in the Grassley's committee in the Senate. These are important things to find out, because if he was putting his thumb on the scale, which it looks like he was, if he was manipulating, using his power, this is abuse of power at the highest level of the Department of Justice, or FBI.
And it's no secret that his colleague, Andrew McCabe, has been recommended for criminal charges.
Right.
And it's no secret that at least 10 people have been either demoted or fired at the DOJ and the FBI. It's not a coincidence. I want to tell you what the president is saying this morning, because President Trump just tweeted, and here's what he said. Robert Mueller and leaking lion James Comey are best friends, just one of many Mueller conflicts of interest. And by the way, wasn't the woman in charge of prosecuting Jerome Corsi, who I do not know, in charge of legal at the corrupt Clinton Foundation? A total witch hunt. Will Robert Mueller's big-time conflicts of interest be listed at the top of his Republicans-only report? Will Andrew Weissman's horrible and vicious prosecutorial past be listed in the report? He wrongly destroyed people's lives, took down great companies, only to be overturned 9-0 in the United States Supreme Court. Doing something, same thing to people now. Will all of the substantial and many contributions made by the 17 angry Democrats to the campaign of crooked Hillary be listed in top of the report? Will the people that worked for the Clinton Foundation be listed at the top of the report? Will the scathing document written about Lion James Comey by the man in charge of the case, Rod Rosenstein, who also signed the FISA warrant, be a big part of the report? Isn't Rod therefore totally conflicted? Will all of the lying and leaking by the people doing the report, and also Bruce Orr and his lovely wife Molly, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, and all of the many fired people of the FBI be listed in the report? Will the corruption within the DNC and the Clinton campaign be exposed, and so much more? The president has a lot to say this morning on this. And by the way, Kim Strassel wrote an excellent op-ed in the Journal today. She titles it Mueller's Gift to Obama, because he basically ignored lots of stuff that Obama people did about saving Hillary Clinton, protecting her. What are your thoughts?
No, I think Kim's right. I mean, what we saw here, Mueller also has basically taken his own path, and it wasn't actually to get at the truth. I mean, look, we didn't constrain him by saying you're going to investigate what we think is a crime. You're going to investigate a person and people. And so that allowed him to wander into fields and do what he wanted to, which, in my opinion, is to get after President Trump. There wasn't anything in President Trump's tweets this morning that's inaccurate, and it's a long indictment of the abuse of power at the highest levels of FBI and DOJ and the Mueller investigation.